Hey guys, in this month's Historical Fiction 101, I'm going to be reviewing the TV series Atlantic Crossing. So, before I head into my thoughts and feelings on the TV series Atlantic Crossing, just a warning, I guess. I don't particularly plan on sharing any spoilers in this video, but that being said, this is based off of true events, real historical people, and yeah, I don't consider things like that spoilers anyway. So yeah, there might be things in here that might be a little spoilery to some, but once again, it's history. I don't consider history a spoiler. But as far as like certain plot points, I guess in particular, I won't really like be going into anything like that. So yeah, let's get going, you guys. So yeah, Atlantic Crossing. Wow. I freaking loved this show. No exaggeration, you guys. And if you know me, I love all things the historical fiction genre, whether that's TV, movies, books, whatever. And I gotta say, I watched so much of it, but so far here in 2021, I think Atlantic Crossing is my favorite historical fiction themed thing that I've consumed in the year so far. That might be a pretty bold statement because we're only kind of, what, like halfway through the year at this point? So God knows, there could be some other amazing historical fiction things that pop up in the latter half of the year. But yeah, so far, here in 2021, Atlantic Crossing is #1 on my list when it comes to the historical fiction genre. So yeah, what is Atlantic Crossing even about? Because I have a feeling a lot of people have not even heard of the show, probably didn't even watch it, but that's kind of going to be the point of this video. I really am pleading, I am begging those of you who love this sort of thing, I'm begging you to go watch this show because I don't think you're going to be disappointed. So yeah, Atlantic Crossing. It is a 8-part mini-series. It's just intended to be a mini-series. It's not going to, you know, go off into multiple seasons. It's just an 8-part season, essentially. So yeah, if you're looking for something kind of short and to the point, this is the show for you. It originally aired, I'm assuming it originally aired back in Norway initially in 2020. So yeah, PBS here in the US, PBS just got it and aired it. So I'm just really grateful that PBS acquired the rights to Atlantic Crossing because, yeah, before PBS, I had never heard of this show, didn't know anything about it, so I'm glad they bought it and aired it on PBS, you know, to really broaden out, you know, broaden it out to other audiences, if you will. So yeah, Atlantic Crossing. It follows the crown prince and princess of Norway during World War II and pretty much their relationship with U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt. And that's kind of it. That's the general basis of this show, taking place during World War II, and you know, kind of that relationship there between the United States and Norway, which I had just absolutely no knowledge about, you guys. We'll kind of get into some of those little details. And seriously, this show was absolutely breathtakingly gorgeous from start to finish. It was just so wonderfully written and directed and acted. The costuming, you know, the locations. I'm not quite sure where they filmed this. I'm not sure, you know, because it is a Norwegian production. I'm assuming they filmed it in Norway. But yeah, for the stuff in the US, I'm not quite sure if they actually went to the US to film or if some of that stuff is filmed in Norway. So yeah, I'm not quite sure on some of the production details, but either way, the locations, because you go to Norway, you go to the US, I think you're in like Scotland at some point, you're in London, there's a lot of locations that this show is is visiting, but just everything is just so wonderfully done, you guys. Seriously, this whole video is probably just gonna be gushing about this whole damn show. And yeah, just to kind of start with the cast here very, very quickly, it stars Sophia Helen. Hopefully I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Sophia Helen, who plays the Crown Princess Martha of Norway. I'm giving it the American pronunciation of Martha, because in the show they kind of pronounce it like Merta or something like that, you know, with their Norwegian accents. But yeah, Sophia Helen. Whew, I have never seen this woman in any other production. I think I found out that she's actually not Norwegian. I think she's actually Swedish, and that she had to learn a bit of Norwegian, because Swedish and Norwegian, the languages are a slightly different. There's a slight difference there. They're pretty similar, but she said she still had to learn Norwegian because she made it. I think she's Swedish. Like I said, I think the actress Sophia Helen, she's actually Swedish. But yeah, Sophia Helen. Wow. Like I said, I've never seen this woman in anything else. She just absolutely my mind was blown with her incredible performance. Just the depth and nuance that she went with the Crown Princess Martha, the emotion, the heartache, moments of joy, moments of passion, moments of anger. You know, I just loved this performance. And yeah, Crown Princess Martha, not only Sophia Helen have I never really heard of, but yeah, I mean, even Crown Princess Martha as a historical figure, I've not heard of her at all, or her level of engagement with the war, that relationship with Roosevelt and whatnot. And the show also stars Tobias Santelman. Once again, I might be butchering his name, but I'm pronouncing it Tobias Santelman. He plays Crown Prince Olav, husband to Princess Martha. He is going to, you know, be the future king of Norway and whatnot. I loved his performance as well. The only other thing I've actually seen him in, he played a pretty vital role in the first couple seasons of The Last Kingdom. I really adored him on that. I was pretty excited to see him in this and see him in a very different role, because yeah, he played like a, you know, like a warrior badass Viking on Last Kingdom, so I was pretty excited to see him on this. I loved the character of Olav, just all this weight and responsibility and duty placed on his shoulders, and you know, do I stay with Norway, you know, stay in my country, or do I need to flee my country because, you know, the Nazis have invaded, they can come after me, kill my family, you know, what to do. So yeah, I love his performance, and just once again, like Sophia Helen's performance, just really great depth and nuance there. Yeah, Martha and Olav, totally shipped it, you know, as like a real life historical couple, I guess. I ship it. I shipped it on the show. I do. I really hope they had, you know, such a strong bond and marriage as portrayed in the show, because I really adored the two characters and whatnot. And then our third major character is President Roosevelt, played by Kyle MacLachlan. I love Kyle MacLachlan whenever he just randomly pops up and stuff. You guys, it's always a joy and surprise when he does. I loved him as President Roosevelt. I think he really captured that, you know, kind of what you typically kind of imagine Roosevelt as being. You know, I think he really captured that, and yeah, he portrays Roosevelt as someone, you know, who's really witty and charming, a bit of a ladies' man, if you will, and yeah, he's rather mischievous. You know, whenever I do think of President Roosevelt, I don't think I ever think of him as being mischievous, and yeah, Kyle MacLachlan really makes Roosevelt kind of this mischievous fellow. Like I said, and a ladies' man. And I just really liked what he did there, that wit and charm and charisma and whatnot. And yeah, once again, that relationship he has with both Martha and Olav, because he has a very different relationship with both of them. And yeah, his primary relationship is definitely with Martha. And so, like I kind of briefly mentioned somewhere in this review, I think somewhere near the start of this, I am not familiar with any of the events that were going on in this show, so a lot of what was going on was really brand new to me and really intriguing, and I was just really thoroughly engaged. And to be quite honest, it was quite nice to watch something like this in the World War II genre, if you will. I love and adore the World War II genre, as dark and dreary and depressing as it is, it's just, there's still something about it. It's just one of those moments in history, you know, that really captures you, and you just, you're always really intrigued to learn more and more about it, because there's always brand new things coming out about World War II. But yeah, I definitely did not know about, you know, Norway's struggle and plight during the war. I mean, it was a global war, you know, obviously every country had something going on during the war, but you do, a lot of times you primarily really only hear about like Germany and Japan and the UK and America, you know. A lot of countries are kind of in the background, you know, almost kind of sideline, and the thing is, they struggled as well. So I really loved seeing the story of Norway depicted and what was going on with that country during World War II and their struggles, you know, what the crown prince and princess were up to, and the king of Norway and whatnot. And yeah, they're related to the British monarchy as well, because there's some stuff that happens fairly early in the season, and Olav's with you know, the now current Queen Elizabeth II. He's with her father, and yeah, they're sitting there referring to each other as cousin and whatnot. It's like, good God, everybody in Europe is just related to each other. So it's kind of fun to kind of figure out, you know, how does the family tree connect here exactly between Norway and the UK? It's really fun and interesting to kind of figure that out. So yeah, I thoroughly loved learning about what was going on with Norway during the war. And yeah, Roosevelt, you guys, obviously I'm familiar with Roosevelt because I'm a U.S. citizen, but I had no idea that rather close personal attachment and connection that he formed with Princess Martha. That is totally brand new territory for me. I didn't know where it was going. I didn't know what to expect. And the way the show kind of depicts that relationship between Martha and Roosevelt, it always just kind of verges right there into speculation territory, you know, like just how close was their relationship? Was it romantic? Was it more like brotherly, sisterly? Was it just, you know, just that need for companionship, you know? It always kind of verges into that speculation, especially the romantic side, you know, was there something romantic going on there? It always kind of hints and teases at it, but it never, you know, it never kind of goes, you know, too wild. It doesn't take too many liberties like, hey, we're going to definitely have a sexual relationship here between them. You know, it never kind of verges into that. It stays kind of respectful, you know, of the two historical figures, you know. And something that I appreciated, because as I mentioned, PBS acquired the rights to Atlantic Crossing. What I appreciated, because I watched it on like pbs.org, is that the channel, the website? I watched it on pbs.org, and after each episode, if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, after each episode, I really appreciated that PBS had a fact or fiction sheet, essentially, that you can read. You know, you can watch the episode and, hey, this was fact, this was fiction, and there's like little snippets of interviews with the creators of Atlantic Crossing, and they go a little into depth with what is fact, what is fiction, and yeah, the little liberties that they did take, you know, because it's a television show. You still have to be entertaining, you know, you have to be entertaining or else your audience is going to get bored. So I really liked the creators in these little articles I was reading, that they would kind of flesh out, okay, this is the liberty we took, you know, with this particular thing and why. And it's like, I wish everything that I watched would kind of go into depth like that, because I love learning, since I love historical fiction, it's like I always love learning, okay, what is fact and what is fiction here? What are the exact liberties? Because it kind of just eases my mind, you know, just one of those things, like it eases my mind. So I appreciated that PBS did that with the little sheet at the end of each episode, so that way it's like, oh, okay, that was real, that was not real, this is the liberties taken. That was really, really great, and I had a fun time after each episode reading those. Now, as far as some negatives with this show, I seriously do not have any negatives. I think my one little slight critique is that sometimes I did feel like the relationship with Martha and Roosevelt would almost turn into a soap opera at times. I almost feel like there was some soap opera drama going on, because yeah, I mean, you essentially did have a love triangle with Olaf and Martha and Roosevelt, and sometimes that would verge a tad little bit into, you know, melodrama or soap opera territory. But like I said, I don't think it was particularly overdone, and I still think the show was very respectful to these real historical figures, you know, kind of just getting on that really fine balance, you know, where this relationship could have gone, and, you know, how this trio of characters felt about one another. But yeah, really, seriously, if I had to find one thing to nitpick about, that's kind of it. That sometimes it would get a little soap opera-y with that three-way, if you will. But that's it. That's it for my complaints, you guys. And even that is not too much of a big, horrible complaint from me. And seriously, just every single episode, it just built and built and built, you know, each episode, all 8 episodes, just a really great sense of anxiety and tension. It's like you are there during some of those really heightened moments when especially Martha and Olaf, you know, at the heart of things happening right there with the Nazis coming in to Germany, or into Norway, as they're trying to flee Norway and whatnot. Just those first 2 episodes especially, wow, just some incredibly dark, anxiety-ridden, tension-filled moments that I loved, and I was on the edge of my seat, not sure what to expect. And the show is just very heartfelt and emotional, and it's essentially kind of about home and country and family and duty, and what do all of those things mean to each of these individual characters and whatnot. And for Martha especially, she's kind of this unspoken of hero for her country. The role that she had to play, her vulnerabilities, you know, her strengths and weaknesses are really displayed with her relationship with Roosevelt, and yeah, she has to do her duty, you know, like, I have to build up courage and save my country and do what I can for my country and whatnot. And there's this truly fantastic moment kind of near the end of the season when Martha and Olaf are especially really going through a rough patch with their relationship and their marriage and whatnot, and he's kind of arguing with her and blaming her for some things, because he's kind of seen all the propaganda and the rumors about, you know, the Roosevelt and Martha relationship, and he's really upset, and she's kind of yelling back at him, you know what, you're the one, your father, our cabinet, they all, and you all wanted me to get close to Roosevelt and get certain things from him, get him to help our country because we're in need, you know. You all wanted me to do this and that, things that I didn't particularly want to do, but yet now you're yelling and arguing with me for doing what I had to do. I was duty bound to protect our country and whatnot, but now you're yelling at me. So there's just a really fantastic moment there that near the end of the season, I believe it is, with Olaf and Martha, that just, whoo, so good, you guys. And let me also tell you this, you're gonna cry. I certainly cried. Maybe I'm just overly emotional, I don't know, but I cried numerous occasions during the show. The first 2 episodes especially, I think I had it the worst. I was definitely pretty rough. It was pretty rough for me those first 2 episodes. I was crying about quite a few things in those first 2 episodes, and then yeah, the last couple episodes, some really great stuff that I was crying about. Oh, seriously, this show, it's gonna make you go to some places, it's gonna make you feel a certain way. I loved it. So yeah, that is it for my thoughts and feelings on Atlantic Crossing. Do I recommend this? Hell yes, I recommend this. If you love all things World War II, I definitely highly recommend this. If you want to learn a little bit more about Norway and what Norway was getting up to during World War II, I definitely recommend it. And for another thing, since this was a Norwegian production, I believe, to the best of my knowledge, since it was a Norwegian production, there's huge chunks of this series that are done entirely in, you know, their native language, Norwegian. There's some parts that are not only Norwegian, but yeah, I think Martha goes to see her family at some point, because I think her family is Swedish. There's characters with the Swedish accents and whatnot, the dialogue and language. And then, yeah, obviously you have the stuff in America, and then that switches over to things being, you know, English and whatnot. But yeah, there are huge chunks of this show done in Norwegian, which was pretty great. I really appreciated that, you know, letting these actors speak their natural language and whatnot, and really making it believable and much more engaging, I think, you know, rather than forcing them to speak English, you know. So yeah, I love that the natural native languages for whatever country you were in, it was all there perfectly naturally, and it made it believable. So you guys, that is it for my thoughts and feelings on Atlantic Crossing. In the comments below, have any of you guys seen this show? Please, I seriously beg you to go check out this show if you haven't already. It's not up to, at the time of me doing this video, I don't think it's up anymore for free on PBS, because I think if you want to watch it, you either do need to purchase the DVD or you need to pay for the PBS passport to watch it now. But yeah, I seriously recommend it either way. Just such a breathtaking, beautifully done show from start to finish, you guys. And like I mentioned, easily my favorite thing so far in 2021 that I've watched as far as the historical fiction genre goes. So yeah, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye guys.